What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage and I'm back with another video. The NBA is going crazy, man. The NBA is going absolutely insane right now. The trades that have not only went through, but the trades that are even rumored to go through are definitely going to change the landscape of the NBA in the following season. I'm not even going to waste that much time here because I just want to get right into the content. Today we're talking about all the offseason trades that have went through, all the players that are on the trade block, and any other major stories that's going on right now. And as always, if you guys end up liking the video, don't forget to like the video and let's get right to it. Let's start off with CP3 to Phoenix. Well guys, I think it's safe to say that Devin Booker to the T-Wolves stories are dead. If the Suns' ascension wasn't obvious, Chris Paul going there definitely makes it clear that they have playoff aspirations. And rightfully so, after all, the Suns did go on that ridiculous streak in the bubble. Essentially, you're taking that red-hot Suns team and you're just dropping Chris Paul on it. I'm well aware that Ricky Rubio, Kelly Oubre, and Ty Jerome aren't scrubs, but Ricky Rubio is literally a worse version of Chris Paul. Ty Jerome is not a major factor in this trade, and Kelly Oubre wasn't even a part of the bubble run. So obviously, your roster just receives an upgrade in general. But then once you factor the fact that Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are on the team, as far as the immediate future is concerned, this is a match made in heaven. Although it's nice to see Devin Booker evolve as a playmaker, it's also nice to see that he doesn't have to be the one playmaker on the team. Ricky Rubio was a good playmaker. In fact, Ricky Rubio was a really good playmaker, but he's not Chris Paul. He's not enough of a scoring threat to essentially grab the attention of the defense. As a result, teams are okay with letting Ricky Rubio just roam around the court. But with Chris Paul, again, he's just straight up better than Rubio, but even if he wasn't, he's a much better scoring threat. As a result, Devin Booker's gonna pretty much find the entire game of basketball to be a lot easier, which is actually kind of scary because he was becoming a better playmaker and a more efficient scorer anyway. Now, for the love of God, D-Book, don't dial back your game because you have Chris Paul on your team, but I'm saying D-Book should find himself just simply playing better basketball because Chris Paul is on his team. And then, of course, with DeAndre Ayton, it's pretty much the same thing, but to a more elevated level. Most centers that have played with Chris Paul had their career years playing with Chris Paul. Numbers-wise, the one exception is Steven Adams, but that's just due to situation. But Chris Paul helping DeAndre Ayton evolve his game is just going to be something fun to watch. But even though I've said all these positive things about the trade, I don't love the move. I love this trade for OKC and I'll address them in a minute, but for the Suns, my only question is long-term, what does this move do for you? It might calm down the Devin Booker's gonna leave Phoenix hype, which is obviously good for your franchise, and showing him that you're willing to go out of your way to acquire star talent does matter. But one, when Chris Paul leaves or inevitably retires, who says Devin Booker doesn't want out next? But two, and most importantly, let's assume that this trade pretty much locked Devin Booker into Phoenix for like 5 more seasons. What now? Honestly doubt Chris Paul's gonna look 45 mil in the face and look at this Suns roster and still decline the option. So wishfully thinking you have 2 seasons of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton to lead your franchise. No offense to them, they're good players, but they literally scream second round exit, maybe even first round exit. The only way the Suns can be legitimate championship contenders is if Devin Booker or DeAndre Ayton ascend to a superstar level. And before y'all think I just violated Devin Booker, no, I didn't at all. I only think there's like a handful of superstars in the league. Historically speaking, NBA championships are often won by top 10, if not higher level players. And considering a 35-year-old Chris Paul is actually the closest thing to that level, I can't say I love the move. The Suns basically told Devin Booker, here you go, now get it done. But for the final time now, I simply don't like the move because although the risk is so little, I don't think the reward is that much. But this is from the Suns' viewpoint. If you're an OKC fan, bro, oh my God. They have 17 first-round picks until 2027. Sam Presti gotta be top 5. I'm not gonna lie, Sam Presti gotta be a top 5 owner in this league today because that is ridiculous. This man made the best starting lineup in basketball on accident and trades away 2 former MVP candidates and comes out on top? Are you kidding me? And on top of all of that, your team is still actually solid despite the fact that you're trading Chris Paul away too? Because Ricky Rubio, again, isn't Chris Paul, but he's store brand. Like, he's straight. Kelly Oubre is actually one of the better young players in the league today. And then Ty Jerome and a first-round pick are just more young talent. OKC is yet again still a good roster that only can go up. By borderline default, they can only get better. Losing James Harden for $4 million is going to be the biggest L of his career. But other than that one massive L, not gonna lie, Sam Presti top 5, bro. So I guess I should grade the transaction. For the Suns, they get an A-. For OKC, they get an A+. And to end this segment altogether, I'm not gonna lie, OKC, you gotta win a title by 2028, bro. Because the amount of assets you got are just simply insane. But while we're on the subject of Sam Presti trades anyway, let's talk about the Lakers getting Dennis Schroeder. First of all, okay trade for OKC's part. They got another first-round pick. Again, good for them. But for the Lakers, I love this trade on so many levels. First of all, understand something. When you're giving up first-round picks, if you're a quality team in playoff contention, it really doesn't mean that much. That's number 1. Number 2, and more importantly, Daniel Green is gone. The city of Angels, Hollywood, you should be celebrating. Throw a parade already if you win a championship or not. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. All disrespect intended whatsoever, and I'm gonna tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball. He has small hands, he can't catch the ball. He has bad feet, can't really move. Even though he's immobile, doesn't really know what he's doing, doesn't have a dribble move that he puts to memory that he can do 2 times in a row. He has no game whatsoever, plays no defense, doesn't have the heart, passion, or anything that comes with it. And you're asking me if I'm gonna miss It's Daniel Green? Please, fuck no. The Los Angeles Lakers knew exactly what they were doing. They should be celebrating right now, and LeBron and AD shouldn't be saying a word about anything. Mr. Presti, that man is 33 years old with a mohawk. Do not trust him. He is dangerous. And to take my mind off of Danny Green for one quick moment, Dennis Schroeder's gonna be nice as hell. The dude checks off literally every box. Like, I remember watching the OKC series and I'm like, damn, when did Dennis Schroeder get so good at basketball? And now we have him on the team. Like, you gotta love it. But yeah, that Danny Green pack that's in the air right now, that's gonna get me fucked up for like a week. I just feel so ashamed of myself because I was definitely hyped when we signed him. Like, how could you, bro? Get the fuck up out of here. Now we just gotta trade Kuz, whose situation I would dive a bit deeper into, but nah, Kuzma got his own video. I don't know if it's up before this video or after this video, but yeah, Kuzma's in the gulag. Now let's talk about Russell Westbrook. I've never seen anything like this, and I know a lot of people love to do it. Oh, I've never seen this, I never saw that. Nah, for real. I've never seen a guy so good at basketball, but nobody wants him because of his play style and IQ. It's actually insane. In terms of volume and statistics, Russell Westbrook is clearly the worst three-point shooter of all time. That's not gonna work in the shooting era of basketball. But then on top of that, he's highly inconsistent, prone to turn the ball over, and then on the other end of basketball, he's not that good on defense. The only time people argue Russell Westbrook being good on defense is when they're comparing him to Steph Curry. And earlier I mentioned IQ, and that's why I mentioned it. Because in the grand scheme of things, is Russell Westbrook actually the worst three-point shooter the league has ever seen? No. Leaving Rudy Gobert open versus Russell Westbrook open, you're gonna see more points out of Russell Westbrook. But in that regard, the issue is shot selection and volume. Bro shoot threes like Curry, but has the ability of Jordan Poole. To the point earlier about playmaking, Russell Westbrook can get you 10 assists a game, but he also gonna turn the ball over 5 times. And it's scary because that's not an exaggeration. He literally averaged 10 assists and 5 turnovers before. And the worst part about that is the assists can dive down all the way to 7, but the turnovers can stay at a 4.5. He's simply talented, but a bad decision maker with the ball. And you would think defensively he'd be one of the better players in the world considering his athleticism, but it's just not the case. If I haven't said it enough, it's literally his play style and IQ that's holding him back. Now, what I'm about to say may shock you, but when Russell Westbrook actually stated that he wants to go back to his OKC days, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a good move on his end. If I'm Russell Westbrook and I care anything about my legacy, I know that it's been tainted so far. And even though Russ can't exactly determine where he goes because obviously he has to get traded, if I'm Russ, I'm begging to go to a team like the Magic. Putting up numbers on a team like the Hornets or the Knicks isn't gonna do much for my legacy. And it's not gonna change the mindset other NBA owners have of me. But if I can go to a playoff team and actually show owners I'm willing to change my style of basketball for the greater good of winning, that's the only way that I'll look on Russ can turn around. Because right now it's arguable that Russell Westbrook is the least desired player in the NBA. And it's not like I'm sad for him or anything, it's been like this for like 4 or 5 seasons now. Talent-wise, he's clearly a top 20-15 player in the league, but he plays like one of the worst. And it's not the, oh, he wants it too bad, oh, he plays too hard. In order to be an NBA great, you have to want to win the game of basketball to a certain level of degree. Simply wanting to win that badly or playing too hard isn't an excuse to play like an idiot. He can play with the same aggression, but he has to tighten up and make smarter decisions with that aggression. But like, imagine telling another player, hey, you need to want to win the game less. Like, that's not an excuse. He simply needs to mature as an NBA player. And I guess it's only right to conclude this with the fact that James Harden is officially on the trade block. And apparently he's told ownership what teams he's okay with going to. But Houston, for the love of God, please ignore that motherfucker and get the most you can for him. Granted, if a guy like Ben Simmons is available, that may be the most you can get for him, and that would just be a great trade anyway. But the main point still stands, get the most you can for James Harden. Because real talk, I care about all the players in the league, but let's just be honest here. Whatever team James Harden goes to, he officially cares about that team more than you guys. And although having a good PR with other superstar players is a good thing for your franchise, James Harden has to understand he's James Harden. And as long as you don't send him to a team like the Knicks or something, I think he'd understand if you traded him to a team that wasn't one of the teams he listed. But that's gonna do it for today's video. It's me, your boy TSO Sage. The offseason is some people's favorite part of the NBA, and I'm glad it's actually pulling through right now. And it's obviously just getting started, as the best is yet to come. And who knows, I might start streaming my live reactions. As of this recording, I did stream yesterday, and that shit was lit as fuck. I didn't even think y'all would come through for it, but it was like 11:30. I started streaming, and y'all actually pulled up. And not only did y'all pull up, y'all stayed until like 3:30. Like, I really fuck with y'all. And if you guys wanted live reactions or just simply wanted me to start streaming more, I can definitely set up my Twitch for that. Definitely comment below if you guys want me to start streaming. That shit was fun. But until then, if you guys like the video, don't forget to like the video. If you like my content, subscribe. It means a lot. And it's been your boy TSO Sage, and I'ma holla at y'all later. Take care and stay blessed.
I ain't no regular timing, but these are no regular diamonds. If I got an op, I'ma find him. Say he forgot to remind him. Let it big go get some shots in. Got the gang in the back, so we slide in. I ain't been mad, so I'm robbing. My whole hood in this bitch, so we